Hello, my sinister skeletons, and welcome to a special presentation of the phantasmic Paul Jessup. Oh, that's right, my lovelies. Today is a very, very special day indeed. Today is my book's birthday. That's right. Cancer Eats the Heart, published by Underland Press, has crawled screaming from the abyss into bookstores everywhere. It is a novel about the chronically ill and disabled and dying, turning to vampirism as a cure. And oh, what a horrible cure it is, because all cures, as we know, come with a cost. And even though modern medicine has left them in the dust, and even though this cure seems to work, every 24 hours their illness comes back if they don't feed and feed until death. That death coming onto their tongue, filling them with the blood of the dying, is what makes them battered, what heals them. And also, hot on their tails are vampire hunters, sinister, horrific vampire hunters, who take their bones out while they're still alive to use them for their dark sorceress spells, and then leave their bodies as puddles of flesh to burn in the sun. Oh, what a horrible little tale this is, and what a horrific little birthday it is. Yes, indeed. So in order to celebrate the book's birthday today, I am going to do a special little treat for you. I am going to read to you the prologue. Ready? Enjoy. And if you like this, go to your local indie bookstore. Go to your library and reserve a copy, and if they don't have a copy, request a copy for them to get. And if worse comes to worse, get it from Amazon or whatever. But first, local bookstores and the library. Support local, support your libraries. Most important things. Wonderful things. It's a tool for the community. Please support them. And with that said, on with the prologue. 1986. His parents had no faces, only sharp blobs torn in the places where their eyes and mouth should be. Toby Miles had no clue they'd died 3 nights before. Suicide. They couldn't take the pain of watching him slowly die from retinoblastoma. His mom blamed herself for taking so long to get it checked out, and by then it was too late. It had spread to both of his eyes, crawled across his face, and nestled inside of his cheeks and his nose. And each day the doctors changed how long he had to live, and each day it grew shorter and shorter and shorter. Time was running out. And even though he was blind, he kept seeing his parents day in, day out, right there, talking to him and walking about. They moved backwards as if they were stuck behind an unseen mirror, and when they spoke, their words were harsh whispers. His favorite nurse, Joanne, said that couldn't be true, and even after she explained to him what happened in the most gentlest way possible, they still showed up and hung around in the shadows. Dimmer and dimmer the world grew, while they shone brighter and brighter. And what they said to him, it didn't make any sense. To watch out for the one who walks behind the doors of night, to resist his promises, and go gentle into the fire beyond life. Death, after all, his mother said, was not the end. They are proof of that. He wanted to ask her what happened to their faces, and he wanted to know why they were naked in the hospital room. But he worried that it would somehow break the spell, and they'd be gone from him if he asked way too many questions. And he didn't want to be alone in that dark once more. The dark was a lonely place, and he was a lonely boy who needed company. The nurses weren't always around, and when they were so sad, it left him feeling way worse than he had before. After all, he knew that he was the reason why they were sad. He was the reason why his parents had been sad too, but they weren't sad anymore. And maybe that was a good thing when it came to death. Your sadness gets left behind. It was a thing of the physical world and had no place outside of the body and its messy chemical constructions. Anger would be gone, he assumed, and even though the rest of the world was sad at his condition, he was angry. So much had been stolen from him, and it was not fair, nor right, nor good. Why did everyone else get to grow up, grow old, go to college, get a job, get a life, get a family of their own? All of that gone, taken from him by the great thief known as cancer. He raged in that darkness of his vision, fumed and hollered and shouted. Eventually, these emotional outbursts frightened away the ghosts of his parents, and he was alone. He threw things at the nurses and cursed, and even they came by less and less and less each day. They did what they could and what they felt like they had to do, but they also stopped just dropping by to say hello and see how he was doing, and he didn't blame them, of course. One day, he was so sick of needles, he slapped the shadow of the nurse who had come to put an IV in his arm, and she fell crumpled to the floor, sobbing. Others came and escorted her out, and then the doctor came by and yelled at him and jabbed him several times with the needle. The doctor kept saying that Toby's veins were no good. They kept collapsing, and he kept fishing around, and they wouldn't bleed at all. Eventually, after nearly 10 tries, with Toby dizzy from all the pain, the doctor found a good vein in his thumb and hooked the IV port up to that. He wondered later if the doctor had done this on purpose, after what he did to the nurse. He knew he should feel bad about all this, but no. Instead, his anger welled up even greater, a slow burning light inside of his body. He saw it when he looked down, a little candle spark of fire right where his heart should be, sputtering in the dark. It was the only thing he saw for days, his vision drifting further and further away, until all was lit by the lamp of his hate. The hateful lantern of a heart is a beacon in the night for all the wrong kinds of creatures that exist on the skin of our world, pressing up against the thin membrane and looking for the wounded that would let them in and give them flesh to wear. It came to him on a rotten Sunday when his medications made his vomit sick with that underskin ant feeling. Woozy, dizzy, fury fluttered about in Toby's heart, the lamp of hate the brightest it had ever been. At first, he thought it was hallucination. Doctors said that might happen after all. It had been forever since they'd seen the ghostly blobs of his parents, and he wondered now if they'd ever been real at all. Was it a dream, a lingering thing, something that would always haunt him? So when the bones of light first appeared when he shut his eyes, to try and force away the darkness. But even with his eyes closed, that skeleton stuck around. It stood in the center of his room, not moving, not speaking a single word. He opened his eyes again, and the rotted, lumpy shadows of the world returned, with the bones still there. It looked like the after-image of the sun at first, like when he was younger and snuck a peek at the eclipse and saw yellow blotches over his eyes for days. They made curious shapes back then, sometimes a skull or bones, almost exactly like this entity here. His dad had said that it was just random series of splotches and nothing more than that. Come on, champ, it's like looking at a quilt or a rock and seeing faces that aren't there. Doesn't mean nothing more than nothing. And that thought made him miss his dad so much. The heart light fluttered again, bright and brighter still, now tinged with a deadly combination of sorrow and hate. The skeleton nodded at him and spoke. The splotches moved like a jaw on a real skull. Hello there. Its voice all smoke and lightning. Hi, are you really here? Yes and no. But I'd like to be really, really here. And to do so, I need you to lend me a hand. I had a body here for a while, a little girl no older than yourself, but I got kicked out of her something fierce because she didn't have the right kind of heart. But you've got the right kind of heart, Toby. I know that. I can see that. You got the kind of heart that could keep me going forever. Toby wasn't sure what to make of all this. The meds left his brain in a constant fog, and right now he was trying everything in his power not to throw up. He hated throwing up, and that seemed to be a common occurrence these days, way more than he liked. That was for certain. And yet, even under all that, this whole conversation felt off. It was like the days Mom said they're going home to take a shower, and they'd be back in the next few hours. That was the night they died. That whole night felt off too, just like tonight. No thank you, he said, and he meant it. Oh, but you haven't even heard my proposal yet, so how can you be so certain? This is a gift I'm giving you in exchange for your help and services. I want to do miracles in this world, Toby, but I cannot. Why? Because I need flesh and bone to do that. I was wondering, can I have yours? You probably won't need them for much longer anyway. No, this was wrong. So, if I'm not long for this world, then what's in it for me? Everything ached and his vision danced. He wanted this vision to leave him now so he could get some rest and feel slightly better. Eternity is in it for you. You let me inside, and I can keep your body going for a long, long time. You might even stick around after this world is gone and done for, and the whole universe is a cold, dead emptiness. You would be the only thing left alive. No more pain, no more sorrow, nothing of that sort. Now, I can't heal all of you. That's only a gift I can give to the others, and only after I have your bones and body under my will. But I can make the pain drain away, and I can make it so death has stopped and will never claim you. What do you say? Will I still be blind? Oh, in a way, yes, we'll still be blind. And I won't die. Will that mean the cancer will keep growing and I'll be here trapped in a living corpse, unable to pass on to the next life? Oh my. How horrible would that be? Of course not, Toby. Of course not. When I come in, I can freeze it in place with a single word. It's not as good as my other gifts, no. No. But as far as things go, it's a much better deal than you have now, wouldn't you say? And he wanted to be left alone and told the creature as much. Oh, I'm sorry, Toby. I can't do that. I'll be waiting here, patiently, for your answer. All right then, Toby said. Tell me your name. You do that much, and I'll give you an answer. The creature whispered something horrible sounding. It was mostly a word constructed out of strange syllables that would be impossible to create in a human mouth. The tongue went into all the wrong places, and Toby wondered if a bird would be better suited to say that name. The sounds of it made him shiver all over, and his body felt colder than usual. He couldn't help it. He couldn't hold on anymore. He leaned over the edge of his bed and vomited into a lone bucket, one that had been placed there for that very reason. I'm so sorry. His mouth tasted bright and pink, and he hated it. Don't be, my child, don't be. I can't say that name. I can't. How about I call you Mr. Brightbones? And the skeleton smiled. Oh, that is a perfect name. I couldn't have chosen a better one myself. And then he held out a bony paw of light, and Toby leaned over and grabbed it and said, Okay, yes. You can use my body. Just promise me I'll still be in there, and I'll still be able to experience life as much as I can. I promise. Everything I do, you will do too. And everything I taste, you will taste. You will understand. You will be able to see what I see, not with the limitation of the physical world in your damaged eyes, but instead with the earthreal shadows of the world that hums beyond sight. And then a whisper filled with dark and secret knowledge. Everything in this world is a shadow. All they see is shadow. I will show you the sun, and you'll be astonished at how beautiful And all can be when we pull back the skin of this world and reveal the bone and sinew that's underneath. And Toby did understand. He'd seen his own muscles and bones before his eyes completely went. He peeked during operations and watched what should never be watched with childlike glances. The secrets we hold inside of us, the wonders of the world beneath the flesh. But he had seen it, and he was in awe of the beauty he saw. Everything was atop spinning as Mr. Brightbones walked into him, the two skeletons merging, and Toby slid away from his waking self and stayed only a whisper, hovering around the edges of his thoughts, watching, but not touching, not doing, yet still alive. Even now, decades later, long past his expiration date, still alive. And that's the prologue. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it piqued your interest enough that you'll go and celebrate my book's little birthday party by buying a copy and then being completely absorbed in the strange world of Cancer Eats the Heart. And remember, my lovelies, stay spooky.